So a lot of guys have trouble with being exciting for women. Whatever they tend to do, no matter how much they attempt to seem more interesting, they always end up just being too boring or uninteresting in general. If you're in the same boat, I'm here to help you appear much more interesting to women by sharing 5 essential habits that you need to implement. Most guys worry about being too nice, which is something that you should be concerned about. But it's the same with being too boring. We are constantly finding ourselves replacing experiences with technology. And this sucks because you don't have any experiences to share with someone else. What exactly do you think you're going to talk to her about when you work 12 hours sitting at a desk replying to emails? Nothing. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let me start by sharing 5 essential things that you can do to not just appear interesting, but be more interesting in real life as well. Let's get into it. Number 1. Know that being bored is just the state of your mind. People aren't boring. We feel bored after being around certain people. There's a big difference between the two, so you need to get this straight first before we get into the other tips. You need to start by proclaiming yourself as interesting, awesome, and simply amazing. And you need to believe it as well. You'll instantly seem more interesting just by following this simple tip. Number 2. Be a well-rounded individual. And no, I don't mean have a round physique. What I'm talking about is that most of us are proficient in 1 or 2 things. We spend a lot of time perfecting those things, but the problem here is that our focus is too specific. And because of that, we don't seek out inspiration or education from other areas. The world is full of exciting experiences and people. You just have to be open to them. Yeah, having a hobby is cool. You have a passion. That's cool as well, but make sure that you're not isolating yourself and preventing yourself from learning about different things around us. So it all comes down to learning. You have to keep yourself open to new experiences, learn new things, and just seek out knowledge wherever you can. That alone will give you so much to talk to about with other people. Number 3. Try something new every day. Now, having a routine is nice and all, but you should realize that it's quite impossible to have new experiences in life when you're doing the same thing day in and day out, week after week. Every single year you have the same routine. You aren't going to be very interesting if you keep this up. Now, I'm not saying that you should completely ditch your routine, but at least make a promise to yourself that you'll try something new every day. Maybe try a new restaurant, take a different route to work, and read some books instead of listening to the same radio every single morning. There are tons of small changes you can make every day which will make sure that you're experiencing something new, something different each day. Research something that you've always been curious about. Maybe you can even figure out a new career path for yourself. Number 4. Seek out and engage somebody new in a conversation every day. A lot of people are stuck in their own little social bubbles for their entire lives. All their friends are people whom they met in high school, and for some reason, they're still sticking around. They go to lunch with the same people, they interact with the same people, and they'd even turn to advice from those same friends, and that isn't right, guys. You need to avoid being in that situation at all costs. How do you think you'll be more interesting sitting there talking to the same people every single day, having the same conversations? You won't be. In fact, you'll be as uninteresting as one can get. We'll be going over in a separate video how exactly you can find such people and strike up a conversation with them. But for now, know that you need to seek out new people and make new friends if you want to seem interesting. Number 5. Constantly seek self-improvement. And the last piece of advice is to constantly seek self-improvement. We got over this a couple of times in the previous video, guys, but I can't stress this enough. You need to be constantly improving yourself. The first step towards self-improvement is just having the courage to acknowledge your own shortcomings. Almost no young men have a high sense of self-esteem in modern society because they're just too low on the social ladder to be satisfied with themselves. When we are climbing the ladder of social hierarchy, we feel satisfied with ourselves. We're delighted while we are climbing the mountain towards our goal. Modern society has us believing that it's okay to genuinely love yourself unconditionally, even if you're a filthy slob. It's as easy as that. If there's one piece of advice I could provide to men who want to have an exciting and interesting life, maintain your attention on the objective and just consider your own thoughts. Your feelings will be all over the place, and if you simply follow your feelings, you will not make good progress on your objective. And when you're not making excellent progress, it's difficult to feel good about yourself. You are not content, and as a result, you'll just be a miserable man with no experiences to share, no wisdom to give, and more importantly, makes everyone else feel miserable when they're around them.
That was it for this video. Be sure to hit subscribe and take a look at the other videos on the channel. Like the video too, as it can help the video reach more men looking for a purpose and direction in life.